Alright, so to try to get some stuff done around here, my neighbor and I, thank you Don, once again, decided, hey, let's see if we can get this drive shaft to the telescope, because it was seized up and I could not get it to go from there in the PTO to here. So looking at it, we thought, all right, what can we do? Don, with his backhoe, figured, hey, let's put it up on the hydraulics, chain it up and see if we can get it to separate. It would not separate, but get me mallet and bam, separates. So now, yeah, that'll work. All right, so everything's looking like it's gonna fit. I've got to push the pin to get it to lock onto the PTO, and then I need to go get a new shear pin so I can bolt these two things together. So Tractor Supply it is. It looks like we might have a functioning system. But I say that, I still got to put oil in the gearbox, or at least check to see if there's oil, and then we'll go from there. All righty. All right, now that I'm done fussing with the tractor, I'm gonna see about taking this space here, which is where we're planning on having the house kind of back up in there. This has been particularly barren for quite some time. So we've got some white Dutch clover, and I'm gonna try to spread it around, and it'll be the beginning of our yard. All right, so everything was going pretty good. I was mowing. Started having trouble with fuel. I think it is because it cranks, but it just doesn't want to start back up. So I think I'm just not getting fuel into the carburetor. But anyway, I was able to mow. So we have a working brush hog and a tractor that is mostly functional. So not so bad, just a step at a time. I got my neighbor to tow me back. He pulled out his big backhoe, and but I had it actually over by the fire pit, and I started looking at the carburetor. I'm getting fuel, getting air, but I think it just needs to be adjusted. Anyway, so I got to figure out how to work with either how to adjust the carburetor that's on it, or get a new one and learn how to adjust it. We'll see. I don't know what the circumstances are, but my understanding is that previously it was rebuilt, but maybe it's just better to get a new one. I don't know. Either way, I did get it to start again after letting it set for a little bit, then did some more mowing. It's working. I mean, we're getting a bit at a time done.
To the end of the week, a buddy from church invited me to come out, and we decided to go do some shoosting. And I took out the new Henry Homesteader and some other stuff, and we went to the local gun club and had a good time.
Shooter, make ready. Okay, stand by, beep.
So as we get to this first section, you'll notice the difference between subs and supers. Those supers are quite a bit louder. Basically what I had done is the first 5 rounds of the magazine were some heavyweight subsonic rounds, and then the second set was 5 shots of supersonic 115 grain.
Unload and show clear. Good.
Also, I didn't know this, but Bob had invited his daughters out, Rebecca and Rachel. You can actually find Rachel on YouTube and Instagram as Rapid Fire Rachel. Bob had brought out quite a few cool guns. In this case, a registered short barrel rifle, an MP5 in 22 rimfire. I don't know if it was an actual H&K or if it was an Numerex gun, but either way, I had a lot of fun with it. Anyway, we had a really good time. I enjoyed meeting Mrs. Rachel, and hanging out with Bob is always great. On a more somber note, on the way back to the farm, I stopped to see what the tornado damage from earlier in the year looked like, and I see where a lot of the houses that were pretty much destroyed, the debris from those houses has been cleaned out. So there's just no more houses at this point. There's very little indicator other than just leftover debris and whatnot. It's still heartbreaking.
All right, well, since I can't get the tractor to run reliably and the lawn tractor just doesn't want to run at all, and I still haven't fixed it, and I need to get this entrance cleaned up, I'm just going to use the push. Yeah, here we go. All right, well, I guess I've graduated from a weed whacker trying to clean out this ditch, which is still not done, but whatever, to a lawnmower, a push mower, that actually is getting it done. Maybe next year I'll have a good working mower. We'll get it fixed. It'll be good. All right, so tried to tinker with the lawn tractor a little bit, and thankfully it's not seized. I thought it might be, you couldn't tell. I was able to get it free up, but again, it still doesn't want to run. So I'm thinking I might just be done with it, and I might start saving for a better unit. That said, I am now tearing apart the fuel system on the Massey because it's still not getting fuel. I'm starting to think that there might be something plugged up in here at the sender or whatever it is. It's a gravity fed system. Not that there's an easy way to make this work. This should be pouring fuel out, but it isn't. So I took the the debris bowl off of it and cleaned it out because it was seriously nasty. It looks a lot better now, but the problem that I'm now having is this, I think, should be dripping with fuel because it's just supposed to drop down into here, I guess, but there's nothing working. Oh, hey, I got something. Nope. No. I imagine this thing should just be puking fuel. I don't know that, so I need to learn how this thing works to see if I can get it cleaned up, because it might just be plugged up, because it is seriously nasty inside that tank. And I'm wondering if maybe I should tear out the tank, put a new one in or something like that. But either way, so before I go start tearing the carb apart, I'm thinking I'm gonna start with the fuel system into the carb and go from there. Wishes? No, don't wishes. Pray for me. I need to learn how to do this because I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, so I put the fuel system back together and then gave a little bit of extra gas and went back to it, and I think I've got it sorted. We'll see if I can do some mowing. All right, so I was able to get quite a bit mowed up, the just kind of around the fire pit and just general yard area. Anyway, but it definitely started doing the fuel cutout thing again. And looking back at the bowl, it is once again full up of sediment. When I say full up, it's like, it's clearly got some stuff going on in here. So, looking back over here, again, this thing, I cleaned this out pretty darn well. So I'm beginning to think that, yes, I am getting a fuel starvation issue, but the big issue is I need to see if I'm cleaning the fuel system out better. Obviously, there's a ton of sediment in this thing. Maybe go grab 5 gallons of gas, just sacrifice it by dumping it in there and cleaning it out. I don't know, I gotta figure something out. But it's pretty nasty in there. So I'll have to come up with something to see if I can clean out the fuel system better and keep it clean and get all that rusty debris. And maybe it's just replace the gas tank. So I don't know how hard that is, but it looks like it just bolts in, but some of the parts have to come off. Either way, it does run. It runs good, actually. The oil issue, it's still burning oil, so I just need to make sure that it's getting replacement, engine oil. All in all, pretty good. This is a good starter. It's been frustrating, but God has got us through it, and I praise him for that. Well, way down yonder is the old tractor. Because I run out of gas, but it's fine. However, I'm getting very slowly. That tank's cleaning up. I'm not seeing nearly as much debris getting into the debris bowl. The inline filter that got put in by the mechanic, that's looking cleaner and cleaner. I've been using an ethanol spray, this gum out stuff. I don't know what it actually is. It's just whatever this is. Anyway, and that helps clean out the gunk and all the rusty nastiness that's been getting into the filter. Blow it out and refill the line. Go from there. That said, at this point I'm out of gas, so I'm gonna go get more. But otherwise, this thing is going along pretty good. So last time I was out here, I had sprinkled in several places clover seed, lots of clover seed, in an attempt to start getting this to kind of be less brown. And this is actually starting to take in some places. It is tiny clover. The forbidden coffee. Gross. So we're doing pretty good on mowing. Pretty excited. Things are going really, really well. And, you know, making a pass. And hey, wait a minute. That seems weird. What's going on there? Huh. That's new. Great. I'll figure it out. All right, so this is actually the other side. So what's happened is the castle nut that looks like this has come off. I'm assuming the cotter pin to go with it. So I pulled this one off of this. I'll take it over to Lowe's and Home Depot or Tractor Supply or whatever, see if I can find something similar and get a new cotter pin and get us back on the road. All right, blessedly, Lowe's had it. Apparently it's a 1/2 inch internal diameter, but it's a fine thread, or a 20, what is it? 1/2 by 20 thread pitch, which is like European silencers, so that's cool. All right, so I got the other castle nut on there. I found a couple of lock washers and locking nuts and a few other odds and ends on the right thread pitch, so I'm gonna put them on the other side. All right, basically just slots right in there, no big deal, right, easy peasy. Let's get a nut on it. All right, so this is just a locking nut, 1/2 by 20. I couldn't find a castle nut to match, but I did get some pins. Hopefully, if I can get this on there, get it all locked up, move the thing forward, I might be able to find the original somewhere in the grass. I don't really feel like digging around in the grass with it being under the tractor here. That's kind of dangerous. Should be good, but still. Anyway, hopefully I can find it, and if not, I guess I'll find one on the internet. Power steering might be helpful. So feeling back in there, it looks like the nut's probably a little too long for the locker to work, but again, as long as I can at least move the tractor forward and maybe even find the old one, or at least get this thing put back up in storage, I'm good. So I think we got a win today. So I couldn't find the original castle nut. I didn't really expect that I would, but that's okay. I'll see if I can find one on the internet. However, while I was at Lowe's, I also picked up some just regular lock washers and regular nuts instead of the larger locking nut. So cool, we went that route and everything is back to normal. So let's get back to work. All right, well, I didn't get everything I wanted to do today, and that's fine. I'm still I'm pretty unorganized about how I'm mowing. I'm just kind of doing it. But that said, everything went really well today, even once I lost the nut on the steering bar here, on the other side. As you can see, we're looking pretty good. Still getting a little bit of that forbidden chocolate coffee. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that apart and then clean the system back out again, and then I'll let her set. not great, but it's better. And I'll need to let some air in. There it goes. Let it fill up and back it down. Okay. Now I'll have to fill that back up. Let's do the other side. All right, it's kind of hard to see here. You can see this brown stuff. That's our delicious coffee chocolate stuff. It's nasty. I am gonna blow that out. All right, so this is that chocolate milk coffee nastiness I was talking about. That is nasty, rusty fuel. So I'm gonna use some of that gum out spray to blast this sucker and get rid of that rust and put it all back together and then go plant sunflower seeds. All right, it's all back together and we can see we got fuel back in there. It is a lot cleaner looking. That schmutz really messes things up. One of these days though, I'll need to see about replacing the valve cover gasket or something along those lines. And that's not gonna be a me thing. I think it's gonna be a mechanic thing because this stuff, that oil, is just getting everywhere. Thankfully, it's not so much of it that I'm down on oil. And thankfully it's something I can put in, but I'd like to stop spewing oil. That'd be nice. All right, so this is the wife's garden, or what I plowed earlier in the year for it to be the wife's garden. Maybe it was late last year, I don't remember. Anyway, so this is supposed to be the wife's big garden, pretty big. And as you can see, it's turning more into a lawn again. So I may have to come back out here at some point with a tiller or a tiller and redo all this. However, the ground is still substantially softer than what it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant some sunflowers to see how that goes. Here we go. All right, this is a garden cedar. As you can plainly see, we got it from Home Depot. It was on the wife's wish list. When we started doing oats, she sent it out, or she said I could go ahead and get it for her. And then she sent it out here with me, which we haven't even used it because if you remember back to when we did oats, you can see the planting seeds video. I ended up using the Scott's cart thing that I used for the lawn. I'm gonna try this because apparently one of the many discs that it comes with is set up for sunflower seeds. So I'm gonna give that a go. All right, I got it all assembled and I've got it set to a 1/2 inch depth. I don't know if it's enough, but we're gonna try. Here we go. All right, I was able to get a couple of lines going. You can kind of see them here. It kind of works. It definitely works better on softer material. Thankfully, this is still fairly soft, but when it's fresh and wet, this probably does, or at least damp, right? Like maybe the day after it rained or something. Might do better. Did kind of all the way over to here. So there are several lines, and it appears that it actually does work. So we'll see what kind of harvest we get from sunflowers, which is cool. All right, I think that's gonna conclude it for this one.
All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, comment down below, and we'll see you later.